Welcome! In this KinoCheck news, some of the movies and actors we didn't expect to see again are making a comeback. Gal Gadot talks about Wonder Woman 3, there's the Star Wars series Lando, and Quentin Tarantino himself wants to bring Bruce Willis back to the big screen. We also talk about Dungeons & Dragons 2, a sequel to Cocaine Bear, and plenty of theatrical release postponements. Here are the details. Cocaine plus Bear equals success. Cocaine Bear was a true surprise hit earlier this year. Director Elizabeth Banks has now expressed her views on a possible sequel to the horror comedy. It's not much of a surprise that there's a lot of interest in a Cocaine Bear 2. After all, Part 1 grossed over $89 million, while it only cost $30 to $35 million to make. Now, in an interview with Rolling Stone magazine, Elizabeth Banks openly expressed her thoughts about a sequel. During the filming of Cocaine Bear, she was already thinking about another part, and how hooked she would be by the thought of exploring this world further. She affirmed that she would like to amaze the audience again. Fun was the focus during the whole project, and in the end, it was passed on to the audience. Cocaine Bear is loosely based on the story of a black bear that got a hold of almost $15 million worth of cocaine, and then started terrorizing people in a forest. Safe to say, the actually absurd premise alone was enough to draw a lot of people to the movies. So, what would await us in a sequel? More animals? More drugs? We are very curious to find out. Hope dies at last. A possible Dungeons & Dragons sequel could come about after all, but only under certain conditions. The new film version of the popular fantasy game was actually well received by viewers and critics alike. Those familiar with the original in particular saw it as a successful adaptation of the story. At the box office, however, Dungeons & Dragons: Honor Among Thieves failed to impress and is considered one of the year's big flops. A disappointment for all those who had hoped for the start of a new and promising fantasy film series. Dungeons & Dragons 2 is not entirely off the table yet. However, despite its lack of success, Paramount Pictures CEO Brian Robbins told Variety in an interview that he could imagine a sequel due to the tremendous reception for Part 1, provided that the sequel could be produced at a lower cost. Thus, there is still faith in the potential of the franchise. One possibility to keep the franchise alive would be to create a Dungeons & Dragons series for the in-house streaming service Paramount+. Of course, these are only speculations at the moment. The fact is that those responsible are convinced that the movie is a good adaptation, even if the target audience was perhaps smaller than expected. A sequel should thus not fail due to a lack of interest. Well, Wonder Woman 3 will also find a place in the future DCU under James Gunn after all. Gal Gadot will be part of developing the new adventure alongside him. The future of Wonder Woman in the new DC universe, led by James Gunn and Peter Safran, was long deemed uncertain. The superheroine made her last appearance in Shazam 2, but was nearly cut out of The Flash. Fans wondered whether there would even be a third part in the DCU. In an interview with comicbook.com, which was conducted before the current strike, Wonder Woman actress Gal Gadot revealed that she is working on specific plans for an additional film. This one would of course be made under the supervision of James Gunn, though Gal Gadot will also be involved in its development. Her love for the character would continue, and that's why she would love to slip into the superheroine's costume once again. Who will be in charge of directing the movie remains unknown. Patty Jenkins, who directed the first two parts, is not believed to return, as her original plans for Part 3 were rejected by James Gunn. It therefore remains to be seen what Wonder Woman 3 will look like and what role Wonder Woman will play in the new DC universe. We'll be sure to keep you up to date. Star Wars fans, listen up. Lando Calrissian is getting his own series after all. After some uncertainty about the project, Disney has finally given the go-ahead and published details about the director as well as the lead actor. The last time we saw The Gambler was in Solo: A Star Wars Story, a movie that fell short of expectations. In response to the flop of Solo, Disney put all plans for additional spin-offs on hold. Accordingly, it also became quiet concerning a planned Lando series. Now, however, the project is on the rise again. Variety magazine reports that the series is to be released. This decision was probably also influenced by the success of Andor, which thrilled both critics and fans. Donald Glover will again take on the role of Lando Calrissian, but not only that, he will also direct together with his brother. The Glover brothers already proved with their series Atlanta and Swarm that they have a talent for comedic and dramatic themes. A convincing realization of the Lando story should therefore be absolutely achievable. Concrete information about the plot and the release date of the series are not available yet. Nevertheless, there is a good reason to be happy now that the project has any future at all. Until the official premiere of Star Wars Lando, fans can look forward to the series Ahsoka, which is set to kick off in August and is also a true fan favorite. It was to be expected. The ongoing writers and actor strike for better working conditions is causing chaos at the studios. In response, Sony announced the rescheduling of several productions. Get ready for the new release dates. The writers and actor strike is currently shutting down Hollywood and ensuring that many studios now find themselves facing the challenge of whether they still want to release their movies this year. The first postponements have already been made. The new Zendaya film Challengers has already been pushed back to next year, and the hotly anticipated science fiction sequel Dune Part 2 may also fall victim to the postponement plans. Now, Sony announced that they will not be releasing several productions this year, thus giving into the pressure of the strikers. Among those affected is the eagerly awaited Kraven the Hunter with Aaron Taylor Johnson, which has been pushed back by a full year to August 30th, 2024. The sequel Ghostbusters 2 moves to March 29th, 2024, and the finale of Miles Morales as Spider-Man in Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse is being postponed for an indefinite period of time. It is currently expected to be released in 2025. The game movie adaptation, Gran Turismo, faces a minor delay only, and will now hit selected theaters over the weekends of August 11th and August 18th, expanding wide on August 25th, 2023, while the next Karate Kid movie is currently scheduled for December 13th, 2024. However, there is also reason to rejoice, because Venom 3 with Tom Hardy is finally getting a fixed release date of July 12th, 2024. And the Bad Boys Will Smith and Martin Lawrence are also returning to the big screen on June 14th, 2024 already. Nothing is known about potential postponement plans of the other studios yet. However, it can be assumed that further delays will likely not be limited to Sony Productions. A possible sensation. Bruce Willis could return in front of the cameras one last time for the new Quentin Tarantino movie, The Movie Critic. This rumor is based on a personal request of the director, who already has very concrete plans for the actor's role in mind. The fate of Bruce Willis is on the minds of countless fans and colleagues. The actor, who suffers from dementia, only let it be known in 2022 that he would end his acting career. A speech disorder diagnosed in the course of the disease affected Willis's last working years, which is why he was mainly seen in smaller roles only. According to the Daily Express, his good friend and master director Quentin Tarantino has now expressed his wish to cast the actor in his final feature, The Movie Critic. This could happen, for example, as part of a cameo appearance. An alternate option would be to use a shorter clip of Willis from his older films, in case the star couldn't make it due to health reasons after all. Tarantino says he wants to pay tribute to Willis by giving his fans one last glimpse of him on the big screen, precisely where an iconic actor should be. However, he would also take into account any objections and wishes made by Willis's family. The 10th and last movie by Quentin Tarantino, The Movie Critic, could be released in cinemas next year, with filming scheduled to start this September. It tells the story of a man in the 1970s who writes movie reviews for porn magazines. Apart from the rumors concerning Bruce Willis, nothing is known about the cast so far. What do you think about the idea of bringing the actor back in front of the camera one last time? Should he be left in peace, or would it be a fitting and culminating end to his career? Let us know in the comments. In addition to the news, there were also some exciting previews of upcoming movies and series this week. On our channel, you can find the new trailers for Loki Season 2 and the horror movie Saw 10. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and let us know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week for more KinoCheck news.